Hey, this is Greg, and this is another viewer question day. Woo-hoo! Today, we got a question from a guy named Bill. Bill writes, or emails, that he's got several buddies at work that's trying to get him to go hunting. And his son actually wants to go hunting. But he's never hunted. And he thinks his dad may have hunted when he was a kid. His question is, what's the big deal about hunting? Okay, well, that's an honest question and a fair question. And in order to dive into that answer, we've got to go back in time. We've got to realize that, our bodies were designed or evolved, whichever you think, to be omnivores. We got these teeth. We got incisors and canines and all of that stuff. So we were actually made to eat a little bit of everything, basically. And I have talked to people. I've had conversations with people. Go, why do you even want to hunt? You can go to the grocery store. Well, that's true, but it's really an individual thing. At one point in time throughout our history, regardless of what you think our origins are, everybody either had to hunt or they had to forage or they died. And most societies, there are a few that were not, but most societies had a combination of them both. And depending upon which society you were in, determined the amount of meat versus vegetation that you ate and time of year and things like that. Okay. So in one way, I am of the opinion, and I know that there are some vegan folks out there that will vehemently disagree with me. Our bodies require meat-based, animal-based proteins. Okay. So, let's just get that one out of the way right there. Now, as far as it being available at the grocery store, yeah, I understand that, and it's easy. I have a lot of people go, why would I want to do that? That's so hard. It's hard work. It's this, it's that. But it's connecting to who we actually are. If you go back in time, we've got rifles now. Last was black powder. Before that was bow and arrow. And then for however long you think human history is, beyond that, it was a sling and a spear. And that was it. And I've black powder hunted. It's pretty cool. I do use a rifle. I do bow. I've tried spear a couple of times. I'm not fast enough, I don't reckon. But it's a way to connect with who we are. There is something spiritual, and I'm not using that term lightly, about being out in the woods before the sun rises. Because right as the sun starts to rise, the wind lays, it dies down. You can hear every sound. You can hear a squirrel rustling, and let me tell you something, if you're trying to learn to deer hunt, a squirrel can sound like a deer like there's nothing else. I don't know, I think they put extra big boots on or something. But you can hear birds moving in, and maybe a hawk circling overhead or whatever. And it's so quiet. You're away from all of the distraction and the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It's restful, it's peaceful. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've fallen asleep in a tree stand. Didn't do real good for hunting, but man, it did good for my soul. One hunt in particular, I wasn't even deer hunting, I was squirrel hunting. Wasn't too cold, but it was still. And it started snowing. And you could hear as each snowflake hit every leaf that was too stubborn to fall on the trees and then eventually land on the ground. Got to snowing so hard that it sounded like rain. But it was good. Now, I'm not one for trophy hunting. I have no desire to go kill a lion or an elephant or a rhino or anything like that. I know that there are people that are. And, you know, as long as they're doing it legally and wherever they're going has a program set up for the continuation of that species, that's fine. But when I take an animal, whether it be deer, squirrel, turkey, rabbit, quail, dove, whatever it is, that's a sustenance. You know, if it's a fur-bearing animal, then I try my best to save the hide. Find something to use it for. It's part of who we are. Now, I'm not telling you you got to. But I don't think you should deny your son the ability to learn how. Something has sparked an interest in him about it. But you got to teach respect for that animal. If you're taking an animal, you're taking a life. And even if you're vegan, you're killing animals because they plow up the ground so often. Mice and moles and voles and frogs and birds are being slaughtered. So don't come at me with that one. You'll lose, I promise. Well, alrighty, I guess that's it. Right now, this is the last question that I've got. If you want this series to continue, send me a question. As always, the email address will be in the description below. But don't fret if you enjoy your Tuesday dose of whatever it is that I'm doing. I got some ideas on some other stuff we're going to start as soon as the questions run out. All right? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Step by step, we're bringing rural back. Have a great day. Bye.